name is Marilyn Wilson. I did the Primetime Sister Circle in 2013, 5 years ago, at People's Congregational Church. And it was such a rewarding experience for me because I was diagnosed 8 years prior with diabetes, but didn't really understand the full impact of having diabetes prior to then. And I learned so much during the time with Primetime Sister Circles about what it really meant to be diabetic and how important it is to focus on your diabetes management. However, I still wasn't doing it like I needed to, but I did all the homework, did a lot of bonding with a lot of the women who were in Primetime Sister Circles, and that was really the first time that I had started sharing the fact that I was diabetic, and I realized during that time how many other people were diabetic. So I didn't feel as alone. I had always been thin all my life. I could eat anything and everything I wanted to, but it was really that year that I learned how many more people are also diabetic and who would become diabetic. And one of the other things that helped me during that time was because of all of the reading that we did and the knowledge that I gained about diabetes and what affects your diabetes. Recently, when I ended up having to go on insulin because of a lot of high stress that I was under, I was able to draw back to the time when I did the sister circles to help me understand the necessary changes that I then needed to have made in my diet. Movement, more exercise, and doing what I need to do to decrease my stress so that I could hopefully get off my insulin. And thankfully I was able to do that. I went on insulin on August 13th. I never shared it with anyone because I was so upset about it, other than my older brother, who's also diabetic, and my older sister, who is pre-diabetic, because I wanted them to understand the impact of my having to go on insulin might have for them. And after having been on insulin for 2 months, as I said, thankfully I was able to come off of it October 29th because of the discipline that I did to get off of it. Thankfully, my doctor, I ended up having to go to an endocrinologist because my sugar had gone up to 591, 522, 523. And because I wasn't really checking it, because my income has been so sporadic and low in periods, I wasn't able to go get the supplies. I wasn't able to get the Lancets, to get the medication. So for 6 months, I didn't do anything. But I was taking a very dear friend of mine who's 95 years old to her diabetes doctor and listening to her diabetes doctor tell her, how do you know what your sugar is if you don't check it? And that was the lesson for myself because I was the patient in October of 13. And I was just so fortunate, so blessed that my girlfriend told me to come, and I made arrangements at my job at that time to leave whatever that day was, Monday, whenever we met. And honestly, I really had gone through a period of, anger when I first became diabetic. I didn't know where it came from. My mother and father never talked about diabetes in our family. And it was really after I read Sherry Shepherd's book, it helped me process the anger that I felt about being diabetic. As I said, I didn't understand where it came from. But the sister circle that year was the year that I really became laserly focused on my health, period, and trying to better understand what diabetes really meant. Because my doctor had been talking about me being diabetic and what it meant, but because I was so angry about being diabetic and not really understanding how it happened to me, I wasn't really listening to my doctor when he was trying to talk to me about it. And that's where the Sister Circle experience became so important for me. I'm a Southern girl. I grew up being able to eat, pecan pie is my favorite, chocolate cake, ice cream, everything. I could eat all of that. When I was growing up, I used to, send off for weight on pills so I could gain weight. I mean, I've always had a thin frame, so diabetes was never part of my purview, ever. So that was part of the reason why I was so upset when I got the diagnosis. First, I was pre-diabetic for 3-4 years, didn't really pay attention to what that meant. And then when I crossed over and became full diabetic on medication, in the beginning I still didn't understand what that meant until I did the Sister Circle, because it is truly a myth that if you're thin frame, if you're thin, that that's not a recipe for diabetes. No.